Thank you for listening today on Revealing Wholeness, sponsored by Infinity Whole Health. Check out our website at infinitywholehealth.com, where we are revealing the eternal in each individual, the infinite in the individual. The creativity is made manifest. Limitation is let go. Now, here's your host, Dr. Troy Munson.
Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Troy Munson. And wouldn't it be nice if we just could snap our fingers and instantly have our health challenges better? And I have clients that come in that I know they would like the results faster. But unfortunately, there are some conditions out there that are not so fast. Now, while it is fun to see all these multi-level companies out there, they're selling all kinds of stuff and they have these quick results and they got these testimonies of people standing up there saying, after just 24 hours, I look great. You know, I love these things. But ultimately, that is not the reality for most of us. And while I do have clients that they will tell me, and I do this on a re-exam and say, hey, how fast were your results? I ask a question. They say, hey, faster than I expected. And I'm really pleased with my care so far. So I ask those questions because I do want to know the input. And it lets me know kind of how we're doing. Now, one thing that is, I feel like outperforms almost everything is chiropractic care. It is amazing at how fast it can turn around a system. It's a beautiful thing to watch. Now, here's a fun one. Had a client come in. She's never been to a chiropractor. Her neck is really jacked up. She's had all kinds of injuries, trauma. Her low back's killing her. And she's got a massive headache in my office. I ask her a few questions. She's popped her neck and back a long time, but hasn't been able to do that for months and months and months. She's so stiff and tight. And I asked her about where'd she grow up. Well, I grew up on a dairy farm. And I said, so you drank raw milk? She's like, yeah. So here, I'm hedging my bets at this point. So here I have an individual who has great foundational nutrition. She's already been popping her neck and back, and it has helped her in the past, but she's never been to a chiropractor. And so I'm kind of suspicious that this one is going to be amazing. And so we get her on the table after doing an exam and x-rays, all that stuff, and we adjust her. And her neck literally explodes kind of thing. It's like everything pops. And she's like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And we adjust the other side and everything pops. And her mid-back pops and her low back pops and everything, it's like a chiropractic dream. And she gets up on the table, she goes, oh my gosh, my headache is gone. This is amazing. And wouldn't it be nice if everybody was like this? It would be awesome. And so I'll have clients on the nutrition side that I'll do a few things with them. And within 24, 36 hours, they're like, I can't believe I feel amazing. And you would love for that to be everybody's experience. But unfortunately, it isn't. And so this particular podcast is on those folks that would expect a fast result, but they're not getting it. What do you do? And so my first and foremost is to talk about the firefighter syndrome. Let's say that I got a client that comes in and we're talking about their condition, and all of a sudden we hear this noise outside, and we open the door to the door that we're in, and we look out the window, and there is a massive fire raging the next building over. And both this client and I, let's call it you're my client, and we're sitting there, and we just happen to have squirt guns in our back pocket. And we go, oh my gosh, this is my moment. And we go running out the door of my office, and we go over to that fire, we start squirting the tar out of this fire. Now, are those squirt guns the right idea? Yes, they are. Are they enough? Not even close. We need to be going up to that fire with like 10 4-inch hoses and dousing the crap out of it. That's what we really need to do. And so I tell you that because sometimes I'll have clients in. Case in point, I've had clients that have had 3 kids. So they're female. We figured that out. They've had 3 or 4 children. Their body isn't working like they want it to. They can't seem to take weight off. Their diet's pretty good, but then I find out that they've been an athlete for a long time, and now I've got that deficit. So not only did they make 3 or 4 beautiful little humans that are 7 to 8 pounds of flesh plus a placenta, that they've used all these nutrients out of their own body to form these wonderful little bundles of joy, but they've also been playing athletics and really using up their body in ways. And they're kind of in my office, and they're in this mentality. Look, in the past I would do some things and my body would respond really fast, and now it's not doing that. And I'm thinking, I would love to be that fix-it person for you, but unfortunately, this is probably not going to go as fast as you think. And so with that kind of a person, I'm a bit more careful now than I was in the past, but this is something that may be home for you if you're kind of in that boat. When I do supplements with somebody like that, I tell them, I said, we're going to go at this kind of like the 4-inch hose scenario. We don't want to walk up to your house fire that's your body that's not feeling well and not performing well with squirt guns, meaning like a couple supplements. We're going to take maybe 1 or 2 pills morning and night and have a good diet, and that's going to be enough, and you're going to feel miraculous change. I'm afraid that's probably not going to happen for you. But when I walk up to a mom who's just given birth and I tell them, hey, you've been doing Zero Food. It's a wonderful product for moms and for elderly and for babies and infants that is whole nutrition, and they're doing 16 a day. And I tell them, you're going to want to stay at 16 to 20 a day for at least through nursing and probably a year beyond. And we're going to add other products in there and make sure your diet is really good to rebuild you, mom, because you've got to take care of this family now for the next 18 years. And I need you strong. And so I'm speaking to women, but not only men. Let's say I've got men out there that have been athletes. Maybe they're firefighters, maybe they're cops, maybe they're always working out. They're always staying in shape because they got some pretty heavy duty jobs ahead of them. And so they're always doing this, and they're always giving their best. And maybe their diet isn't great because they've short-circuited on a couple things. But now they're not feeling so good. They're not losing weight as well as they could. They're not having energy as well as they could. They're not sleeping as well as they could. And they want a quick fix. It probably doesn't exist. But when I begin to supply them with nutrition and I tell them, you're going to be wanting to be doing this 4-inch hose process. You've really got to do some work on your diet. You've really got to be doing some things nutritionally that are a bit more rigorous and a bit more abundant than the average person, because you're expecting so much more out of your body. So these will give you some ideas. Maybe you're knee deep in a cancer treatment. You are basically like all these other folks, a gal that's had 4 children, a gentleman that has worked out way too long for way more than his body will put up with, and he feels like crap, and he's wondering what to do. And so if our body's been down and now we have cancer, we have some other disease process that's ravaging us, then we're kind of all in the same boat. And we have to walk up to this fire with 4-inch hoses, meaning some serious nutrition and often. And you're going to have staying power in this process to get well. But I'm giving you this pep talk to tell you that it can be done too. You just have to have the right mindset going into it so that you can have that staying power. And when you've been working hard for 2 or 3 months and you don't have the gains that you wished you would have or thought you could have, that you still stay with it. Because you're just adding value into the body to try to get it to repair. And you don't know what really is in that body that it's up against. Wouldn't it be nice to plug a USB port in the side of your neck and be able to say, hey, this is all the crap going on your body, and here's all the deficiencies, and this is what it's going to take? Wouldn't that be nice? Then you'd at least know. And you could plug in that USB once a month and say, hey, how am I doing? Hey, you've improved 7%. 7%? Dang, I was hoping for 25. No, sir, no, ma'am. You got a ways to go, but you're on the right track. That's what we want to get across. So I hope this pep talk, even though it was kind of a reality check, kind of hits you at least in a place where you're like, okay, I'm willing to dig deep and continue. For some of you out there, if you haven't watched this movie, An Officer and a Gentleman, one of the first movies that really propelled Richard Gere into stardom. And I think it was Lou Gossett Jr. was his superior, if I'm not mistaken. And it's about 3/4 of the way of the movie. And Lou Gossett Jr., if that's who it is, the black gentleman that's his, just grilling him as a new recruit. And he finally breaks him, and he tells him he's going to kick him out of the officer program. And he says the statement, "I got nowhere else to go." And if you remember that movie, "I got nowhere else to go," he's totally broken as an individual. And Lou knows he's got him now. And it's kind of like you need to reach that point of, I've got nowhere else to go except to continue to do what I know is right, which is adding value and nutrition to my body, which is getting chiropractic care to help my brain function in this mess I've made and try to help my body heal. And I've got to start working on my mental capacity to be more positive, to stop fighting me and fighting my healing ability, and not listening to all the naysayers out there, and continue to take the next right step forward. If that's you, I want to encourage you right now. You got nowhere else to go. Just stick with it. You can do this. Until next time, I'm Dr. Troy Munson.
The information on Dr. Troy Munson's podcast is meant to educate the listener and is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease.